Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a massive, but honestly, often totally invisible barrier to getting a college degree. We're looking at why providing a student with a stable place to sleep is actually the ultimate academic breakthrough. It's the hidden college barrier, why housing absolutely drives student success. Okay, let's dive right into this. To truly understand this barrier, we just need to listen to Fong Yang. He's the vice president for student affairs at Fresno State, and he hits the nail on the head. He says, housing stability is student success. I mean, think about it. You literally cannot expect a student to focus on, say, passing organic chemistry or writing some massive 50-page thesis if they're consumed with worry about where they're going to sleep that night, right? If they're stressing over rent or how they'll physically commute to campus every single day, their cognitive load is entirely hijacked by just trying to survive. To earn a degree, you need focus. And focus, well, that requires stability. Now, 50. I really want you to think about the weight of that number for a second. 50. It has been over 50 years since Fresno State opened a brand new on-campus housing option for its students. Half a century. That is a massive generational drought of resources. We're talking about generations of students who have passed through those university doors, having to just scramble, scrape by, and commute incredibly long distances, all because the physical infrastructure on campus just hadn't expanded to meet the need in 5 decades. It really makes you realize just how historic, how monumental this new development is for the campus community. And to truly get the impact here, we've got to look at the before and after. Before this new facility opened, the anxiety was just palpable. The director of student housing noted that, in the past, Fresno State carried a waitlist of up to 400 students for on-campus housing that they simply could not accommodate. 400 students left completely in limbo. This caused massive disruption. Some folks literally chose not to enroll at the university at all just because there were 0 beds available for them. But cut to this fall semester, and the reality is entirely different. 0 waitlist. They're actually able to house everybody who wants to come. Taking that kind of uncertainty away from hundreds of young adults right before the semester starts, the relief there just cannot be overstated.
So what's the actual, concrete solution that totally wiped out a 400-person waitlist? Well, it's a massive 80,000 square foot building sitting right on the corner of Shaw and Cedar Avenues. This brand new 4-story complex adds 228 absolutely crucial beds to the university's housing roster. All 10 of the university's housing buildings are full this year, which brings the total to almost 1,600 students living on campus. But this new physical footprint, it isn't just brick and mortar, It's 228 students who now have a literal, solid foundation to stand on while they tackle their education.
Now, building an 80,000 square foot complex is, as you can imagine, incredibly expensive. So how'd they pull it off? The funding actually came from a really smart 2-pronged approach. First, $33 million came from a state affordable student housing grant. Then, another $20 million was generated through the California State University's system-wide revenue bonds, which, of course, the campus will pay back over time. But what is absolutely crucial to note here is that those state grant funds, they aren't just paying for construction. They are actually being used directly to help fund a portion of the rent for eligible students. And that brings us to what this actually looks like for the student's wallet. $1,000. That is the flat monthly rent for these fully furnished, mostly 2-bedroom apartments where each bedroom houses 2 students. But here's the absolute magic of that number. That $1,000 crucially includes all utilities, Wi-Fi and cable, the whole shebang, bundled right into one single bill. I mean, think about how much stress that eliminates. No crazy fluctuating electric bills in the middle of a blazing hot California summer, no dealing with separate internet contracts. It is just one predictable, stress-free payment that lets the student budget accurately and get right back to focusing on their classes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a demographic reality that might actually surprise you. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, about 20% of college students nationally have children. That's 1 in 5. So that traditional image we all have in our heads of an 18-year-old freshman with 0 responsibilities, that just isn't the whole picture anymore. We got transfer students, working adults, caregivers, and this data perfectly justifies a really unique feature of this new Fresno State complex. It specifically includes 6 family units designed exclusively for students with kids. By acknowledging and actually building for this 20%, the university is making sure that being a parent doesn't suddenly disqualify you from having access to stable on-campus housing. Moving inside the building, the layout is incredibly intentional. Vice President Yang used this really great phrase. He talked about the value of what surrounds the bed. These units are actually the very first university housing at Fresno State to be equipped with kitchenettes.
Plus, they feature an on-site gym, dedicated study rooms, and laundry facilities. Now, we really shouldn't frame these as luxury perks. They're necessary tools. Look, if you want a student to thrive, they need to eat well, they need to stay healthy, have a quiet place to read, and, let's be real, they need to wash their clothes without having to haul them across town on 2 different buses. These amenities literally surround the bed to enable learning. And you know what? We know these tools work because the research absolutely backs it up. Studies consistently show that students who live on or near campus fare much better academically, they feel way more connected to the university community, and they actually graduate faster. I want you to put yourself in their shoes for a second. Just imagine trying to study for final exams while simultaneously worrying about a looming eviction notice. Or imagine spending 2 hours a day commuting in traffic instead of studying in the library that is now just a short, easy walk away. Removing those physical and geographic barriers is exactly why these research-backed academic benefits exist in the first place. Let's zoom out to the big picture now, because this isn't just about the campus itself. It is about the entire surrounding community. Fresno State's president, Saul Jimenez Sandoval, summarized this ripple effect beautifully. He pointed out that when students earn their degrees, quote, it strengthens families, it grows our workplace, it lifts neighborhoods, it fuels the economy of our Central Valley. When you remove that massive housing barrier to graduation, you are basically minting more educated professionals, more skilled workers, and more community leaders. The investment in a single student's bed translates directly into the economic prosperity of the entire region. It's a total game changer. Which brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought to leave you with today. We've seen the clear evidence. Stable housing eliminates waitlists, it relieves huge financial anxiety, supports non-traditional students, accelerates graduation rates, and ultimately, it fuels the entire regional economy. The value of this project is undeniably incredible. So the real question we have to ask ourselves is, if affordable student housing is this crucial to economic and academic success, why on earth did it take 50 years to build? It definitely makes you wonder what other systemic hurdles are still out there, and honestly, how many other campuses are currently half a century behind. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.